Welcome to our channel. If you haven't done it already, please subscribe.
Winnie the Pooh, Something is Missing. Was a boy named Christopher Robin who had a room full of wonderful toys to play with. Of all of these, the stuffed animals were his favourites, especially a bear called Winnie the Pooh. The boy, Pooh, and the rest of their well-worn friends spent many happy hours sharing make-believe adventures in a beautiful place called the 100-Acre Wood. Early one morning, Pooh slept in his cosy house inside a tree, dreaming of honey. Honey was his favourite thing to think and dream about, as well as his favourite thing to eat. And on those rare occasions when Pooh forgot about honey, his rumbly tummy was quick to remind him. On this day, Pooh woke up to discover that his tummy was complaining especially loudly. He knew that the only way to quiet it was to fill it with lots of delicious honey. As Pooh dressed, he and his tummy sang a song together that included reassuring words like sweet and eat. Well, actually, Pooh sang the words while his tummy made musical sounds like gurgle and pop. It was time for breakfast. Pooh checked his cupboard first, sure there would be a pot full of the sweet stuff. Empty, observed Pooh. Well, luckily, I keep some extra in the house. Pooh continued his search, checking under his bed and on the ledge above his door. Unfortunately, every honey pot he found was lacking the honey part. Finally, he came upon a jar he felt sure was full. He tipped it back farther, and farther, and farther, until the weight of the pot tipped him right over. Sensing that Pooh had been distracted from his task, his stomach issued forth several more hungry and impatient sounds. Pooh realized that drastic measures were in order. Since there was no honey to be found inside, he had no choice but to venture out into the 100-Acre Wood to find some more. Suddenly, Pooh spotted some bees. Since where there were bees, there was usually honey, Pooh felt hopeful and a little cautious. He had learned from experience that beehives could be very unfriendly places when the bees were home. What he needed, Pooh decided, was a disguise. He spotted a tree branch and held it in front of him. Now, the bees would think he was a tree branch too. Pooh reached inside the beehive. But the bees were not fooled, most likely because tree branches don't reach into beehives. A big, angry swarm poured out of the hive, and Pooh took off running. He knew he couldn't outrun the bees, so he would have to outthink them, which was no small task for a bear of very little brain. Luckily, he stumbled upon the perfect hiding spot. He vowed that just as soon as the bees were gone, he would pay his friends a visit. Surely one of them would have some honey to spare. In another part of the 100-Acre Wood, Eeyore was greeting the day by saying, "Why?" and then, "What's the point?" By the time Pooh came upon Eeyore, the donkey was thoughtfully chewing on some thistles. "Good morning, Eeyore," said Pooh. "You wouldn't happen to have any honey lying about, would you?" Without waiting for an answer, Pooh crawled inside the front of Eeyore's house to have a look for himself. When he didn't find what he was looking for, Pooh's tummy suggested that he check the back of Eeyore's house. Pooh came out empty-handed, finally stopping to take a good, long look at his friend. "Eeyore," said Pooh, "what has happened to your tail?" "What has happened to it?" Eeyore wondered. "Well, it isn't there," Pooh explained. "What is there?" asked Eeyore. "Nothing," replied Pooh. "That accounts for a good deal," observed Eeyore. Pooh knew what he had to do. "I, Winnie the Pooh, will find your tail," he promised, "and then we shall get some honey." Just then, a familiar voice drifted down to them from a nearby tree. "Chapter 1. The Birth of a Genius," it began. "A breezy wind whiffed through the wood—" "Pardon me, Owl," interrupted Pooh. "What are you doing?" "Oh, hello, Pooh." "Eeyore," Owl said. "Why, I'm penning my personal memoirs." "Perhaps you could take a short break from your important work and help us find Eeyore's tail?" asked Pooh. "You have such a talent for speaking and telling us what to do." Owl handed Pooh a pad and pencil. "Write this down carefully," he instructed. "Now, the customary procedure in such cases is as follows." "What does crustimony proceed cake mean?" Pooh asked. Owl explained it meant the thing to do, and continued. "The thing to do is as follows. First, issue a reward." On hearing the word issue, Pooh said, "Gesundheit." "I beg your pardon?" replied Owl. "You sneezed, just as you were going to tell me what the first thing to do was," Pooh said. "I didn't sneeze," disagreed Owl. "As I was saying first, issue a reward." "He's doing it again," Pooh told Eeyore. He turned to Owl. "You must be catching a cold." "I'm not catching a cold," Owl insisted. "The word is issue, not achoo." "My throat feels a little scratchy," Eeyore admitted. "Just as I suspected," Pooh said. "Owl, we need honey." Owl's patience was at an end. "Enough of this infernal folderol. Look, the thing to do is we write a notice promising a large something to anyone who finds a replacement tail for Eeyore. Is that clear?" "Oh, that sounds like a wonderful plan, Owl," said Pooh, imagining a tasty honey reward as he listened. "Excellent," replied Owl. "Now, we shall get Christopher Robin to write out the notices, and we'll put them up all over the forest." And with that, he flew off to the boy's house to ask for his help. Christopher Robin immediately set to work making several large signs that read, "A very important thing to do." Each one had a spelling mistake, or two, but since no one in the 100-acre wood was any better at spelling, it was certain that no one would notice. Pooh helpfully took the signs and began posting them all around the 100-acre wood. As Pooh was hammering one of the notices onto a tree, he thought he heard a low, growling sound. "Is that you, Tommy?" he asked. When Pooh's tummy didn't answer, he finished posting the signs and turned to leave, bumping directly into Balloon. Just as Pooh was inviting him along for the very important thing to do today, Tigger leaped out of a bush and pounced on Balloon. Phew! That was a close call there, Pooh Bear. This guy was about to pounce the stuffing out of you. Balloon wasted no time in slipping out from Tigger's hold. The two wrestled, but hard as he tried, Tigger could not escape Balloon's sticky, tricky hold on him. "Don't be afraid, Tigger," said Pooh. "It's only Balloon." Tigger assured Pooh that he was only pretending to be afraid. "So's my opponent would underestimate me, and then I'd get the drop on him. Well, I think this little guy's learned his lesson. There may be others out there in harm's way, so I must go, because the 100-acre wood needs a hero, and I'm the only one." And with that, Tigger bounced off into the wood. Christopher Robin waited for all his friends to arrive, then called the meeting about the very important thing to do to order. He gestured to Eeyore, who turned to display his barren backside. "We will have a contest to find a new tail for Eeyore," Christopher Robin said. Owl interrupted to remind Christopher Robin that contests usually involve some kind of prize for the winner. Everyone had a different idea as to what a desirable prize might be. Pooh gave Christopher Robin the piece of paper with his drawing. The boy smiled. "Why, Pooh, that's a grand idea," he exclaimed. "The prize for a new tail shall be a pot of honey." Now the contest could begin.
Thank you for watching our videos. If you haven't done it already, please subscribe. Here are some videos we thought you might like.